Hello everyone, and welcome to some more No Wrestling! It's me here, Mark Silvester. And welcome today, guys, to another edition of No Wrestling Reacts. And with this No Wrestling Reacts, guys, as it's the month of June, and as back in the day, back in the late 90s and the early 2000s, the World Wrestling Federation / World Wrestling Entertainment had the amazing pay-per-view known as King of the Ring. And with Stone Cold Steve Austin being one of my all-time favourite wrestlers, I wanted to look back at the amazing promo from King of the Ring 1996. And with this promo, helping Austin become the biggest star in the industry, the biggest star in the history of the world, and just having the most popular shirt besides the Bullet Club shirt and DX shirt and CM Punk's Best in the World shirt, for example. I thought it'd be really, really cool to react to this amazing promo, the birth of Austin 316. And the cool thing, you can see obviously Michael Hayes talking over obviously about Michael Hayes mentioning how Steve Austin's the for King of the Ring. And you can hear Austin then basically telling the guys to get Jake Roberts out of the ring, which again you can hear the crowd cheer because obviously Austin is a really cool bad guy, which is obviously the beginning of him becoming the next biggest star in the industry.
You ain't got what it takes anymore. You sit there and you thump your Bible and you say your prayers and it didn't get you anywhere. Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says I just...
And then with that moment as well of him saying Austin 3:16, it was kind of like an inspiration from Jake Roberts from earlier in the night, because after being involved in a match against Mark Henry, he had his lip busted open to go to the local hospital. So then obviously you had Jake Roberts mentioning obviously like a religious premise. He thought, oh, actually, you know, John 3:16, let's use Austin 3:16. And he is mentioning him, how he's going to become the next WWF champion in the whole of WWF as well, too.
As far as this championship match is considered, son, I don't give a...
And I like the fact as well that Steve Austin was kind of obviously mentioned the whole later on where it's kind of really happened much nowadays, where like back in the 90s they kind of had to mention the fact of what happened earlier, like in that night, that happens later on as well. And you can see here as well that Austin mentioning as how he was the... And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. Because even though, obviously, the whole thing of the Austin 3:16 is more famous from this promo, it also had obviously, the whole introduction as well as, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so too. And I thought that worked really, really well as well too. And I just think it's an awesome promo, because it's showing you just the amazing character of Steve Austin. It's kind of letting Steve Austin be what he is known to be and what he is go on to become, which is basically the biggest star in the entire company and the world, etc. And also as well, he kind of had it on pat, his look, like even though the goatee was there, you still had a bit of the stubble around the sides, so you didn't have that full look of Steve Austin, which then obviously went on to in the future and stuff, and obviously he then ended up giving himself a brace and another brace as well. But I just thought it was really, really cool, because it also as well introduced cause Stone Cold said so he was kind of like, you know what else, I'm going to say something else, which then hit the ball out of the park again. And I thought that worked really, really well, because it's kind of like showing off just the tenacity of Steve Austin, the toughness of Steve Austin. And I think as well it worked really, really well too, that I liked in the fact, like I was mentioning over the video, that with this promo, it obviously had the fact of him mentioning that it doesn't matter to him if it's Davey Boy Smith or Shawn Michaels, he wants to become the next World Wrestling Federation champion. And I thought for me that works really, really well, because it makes the championship seem important, it puts the title over, and it's something that I feel for me is missing a lot in modern day wrestling, where it kind of feels like it doesn't really matter what happens later on in the evening. It's kind of like they have their feud and they move on, they have their feud and then move on. When it's quite cool this with Steve Austin to say, you know, it doesn't matter who wins the match, he wants to become the next World Wrestling Federation champion, because to him, all he wants is a title, and he's looking at to see who's going to potentially win that match, because then he can then use his skill and his wrestling know-how to become the next champion. Because at this time, he went from being obviously in WCW And then when he first came into the World Wrestling Federation as the ringmaster slash stunning Steve Austin, very much based on his ring skill and etc. that kind of thing. But then with this, and then slightly a month before this, when Ted DiBiase went to WCW, he then became the Stone Cold Steve Austin character that we all know and love basically now. And it's just really, really cool to kind of see this genesis of that happening with the use of the Austin 316, cause Stone Cold said so, and just the way that he talks, his whole mannerisms as well, that he was able to, even at this early stage of his World Wrestling Federation career, he was able to think of, in a sense, the blueprint and have in his head already the amazing character, which then would go on to superstardom, the Austin 316 shirt becoming the most popular shirt ever. The fact as well with Austin 316 that you have other things like London 316, Tokyo 316, Texas 316, and etc. And I just think for me that's just really, really cool because it kind of helps put it into the professional wrestling / pop culture zeitgeist, just how popular and amazing Austin 316 is. That it's one of those things that even if people who don't like wrestling anymore or used to watch it or don't even know wrestling in general, as soon as you say Austin 316, same with Hulkamania and same with other things as well too, people would instantly know, oh my god, I know that. I know what Austin 316 is. I just think for me this is a great promo, and it just shows just how amazing of a promo that Steve Austin is, and is the reason why Stone Cold Steve Austin is the GOAT, and why this promo is so iconic. And from this 1 minute and 44-second video, you understand the amazing and great character that is Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it proves why when a promo is done right, just how great a promo is, that it will always be timeless. And that, my friends, was my No Wrestling Reacts on the birth of Austin 316 from King of the Ring 1996. Let me know, guys, in the comments below what your thoughts are about this amazing promo, and do you prefer Austin's other promos as well? Like, do you prefer his promos against Vince McMahon, his What promos, and other promos too? Love to hear you guys think. And also as well, guys, please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to No Wrestling on all the different social medias, podcast networks, and YouTube too. This has been No Wrestling, guys. I have been your amazing host, as always, Mark Silvester. And don't forget, guys, to take care. And always remember, and that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.